Bonjour. Invités d'Instinct, mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à notre troisième conférence sur la politique scientifique canadienne, CSPC 2011. This is our largest conference yet. We have over 500 participants, the most ever. More than 40 organizations agreed to be our sponsors, community partners, and collaborators. 32 organizations submitted panel proposals. We have 36 members of honorary and advisory committees. We have close to 100 speakers and moderators from various sectors and regions. We have an enormous network of volunteers who are passionate about every aspect of the conference. Without them, the CSPC would not have happened. And let me ask all the volunteers in organizing committee, in other subcommittees, all who have been involved in this collective endeavor to raise and stand up for a minute, please. Please. And they deserve a big round of applause, of course. And on behalf of the community, I thank you for your contribution. J'aimerais prendre un petit moment de remercier nos supporters. Simplement, le CSPC n'existe pas sans vous. Je remercie les membres de notre comité honorifique et je suis reconnaissante au comité consultatif pour les appréciés et leurs conseils. Le CSPC est beaucoup plus fort avec votre contribution. Finally, I would like to give special thanks to the members of the steering committee who have helped us to develop a strategic plan for a virtual science policy center in Canada. In particular, I would like to name Janet Halliwell, Peter Hackett, Paul Dufour, Andre Albinati, and of course, Chris Hornberger of Halifax Global. This center will absolutely be key for maintaining the conference by providing a firm foundation for the future. Mesdames et messieurs, nous avons créé une conférence impressionnante, née de notre communauté, appuyée par notre communauté, et en baptisant notre communauté pour avoir un dialogue inclusif dans le domaine des sciences, de la technologie et la politique d'innovation au Canada. We come from industry, we come from government, we come from non-for-profit sector, we come from academia. Indeed, we come from all of those in Canada that believe science policy is important for Canada, that it helps to build Canada and it will help to build a better Canada, one that can continue to project its values in a complex and competitive world. Our conference happens at a moment of dynamism in the Canadian science and innovation policy landscape. The Federal State of the Nation report published in June, the R&D Review Panel report published in October. The first chief scientist in Quebec has just been appointed and is joining us here in this conference. The world is in a moment of economic turmoil and transformation, but the science itself is changing. Of course, it never ceases to change. But how science is done is changing. Where science is done is changing. Who does science is changing. Who understands science is changing. And who accesses science is changing. And this is important because science, innovation, and competition policies shape the ways that knowledge and research are incorporated into the economic and social fabric of nations. The issues are becoming ever more multidisciplinary and more complex and ever more cross-sectoral and ever more translational and startling and surprising. They come almost at the speed of thought. And if there has been a radical shift in the way that science advances, there needs to be an upgrade to science policy too. The question, ladies and gentlemen, is this: is our science policy landscape ready to pave the way for Canada to remain in an innovative, scientifically rich, and competitive nation 20 years down the road? I would like to share some common themes from the State of the Nation report of 2008 and 2010, and Jenkins' panel report of 2011. The reports all spoke about the need for cross-sectoral collaborations, stronger linkages, a well-connected science policy landscape, dialogue, and new initiatives and investment in the soft infrastructure for science policy. They spoke of the need for effective evaluation and assessment of policies around and the engagement of the next generation in science policy efforts, building capacity and mechanisms to train the younger generation to become the leaders of the future. De plus, il y a des actions qui ont été prises. Par exemple, félicitations à la IRSC pour avoir établi des bourses pour doctorats en politique scientifique. Ceci est un modèle à suivre. Here at CSPC, we undertook our own research initiative and asked our community about gaps in science policy landscape. There was a strong response in supporting the value of the CSPC and its continuation as the national inclusive multi-sector and multidisciplinary forum on science, technology, and innovation policies. CSPC was identified as a unique venue to develop insights collaboratively on the emerging issues of science and innovation policy in Canada. Différents acteurs nous ont parlé du manque de coordination, du besoin d'être inclusif, la nécessité de ramener le secteur privé dans le dialogue, le besoin d'un lien plus fort de les jeunes et de la nécessité de maintenir un environnement cohésif de politique scientifique afin de créer une économie robuste en sciences, technologies et l'innovation. Une économie qui est critique pour notre avenir. Let me be clear, if CSPC is to be continued, the community has to step up and provide ongoing financial support in order to stabilize and professionalize its operations. CSPC has moved beyond the realm that even our most passionate community of volunteers can maintain. Ladies and gentlemen, it is in the recognition of the need to upgrade our science policy infrastructure that we have developed a strategic plan for a science policy center. The proposal is based on 3 pillars. First, establishing a hub for a dynamic network of stakeholders in science and innovation policy. Second, inspiring young people to enter science policy with an eye to generating the next generation of leaders in the science policy arena. And third, supporting the development of the science of science policy in Canada, to be able to know how things worked out in the past and how they might work out in the future. The network of our community must be engaged to think about the issues that challenge us and the opportunities that evade us. The best of the brightest must be encouraged to come forward and consider science policy for Canada. And now, as never before, our policies for science, innovation, and competition must simply be the best in the world. We call this, ladies and gentlemen, Science Policy 2.0, and we think it's time for an upgrade. Throughout this conference, I would welcome your input into this proposal. Come up and tell me what you think, or seek out one of the members of a steering committee and talk to them. Your views are important, for Canada's future is demanding it. Mesdames et messieurs, c'est à nous de bâtir un environnement d'innovation et environnement qui est qualifié par ces réseaux effectifs, connexions et de l'échange des idées et du savoir. Let's continue to build this ecosystem, our community, together. Let me finish by a quote from the R&D review panel that said, quote, "What Canada needs are new initiatives responding to evolving needs and priorities going forward," end of quote. Once again, I thank you for your contribution to our science policy community. Enjoy the conference, and I look forward to spending time with each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.